chosen in a world that doesn't understand you, hunted by those who fear your integrity, and accused of things you never even did. This is the reality many of Allah's servants face. Imagine 8 long years of whispers, plots, and betrayal, yet through it all, Allah's protection never left you. Today, we uncover 7 powerful lessons from the lives of those who endured the impossible lessons of patience, divine justice, and unwavering faith. Stay with me, because these truths will not only strengthen your heart, but remind you that when Allah is on your side, no scheme, no accusation, no darkness can ever overcome you. When people spend years trying to bring you down for something you never did, it is essential to understand that the trial itself is never truly about the false accusations or the hatred aimed at you. It is about the purification of your heart, the sharpening of your patience, and the elevation of your soul to a level that ordinary trials could never reach. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, tests His chosen servants not to break them, but to prepare them for a destiny far greater than what they can imagine, to strip away every attachment that could distract them from the purpose He has written for them, and to reveal the depth of their reliance on Him alone. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced slander, ridicule, and false accusations throughout his life. Yet he remained patient, steadfast, and unwavering in his faith, trusting that ultimate justice belongs to Allah and not to human perception. Every whisper, every smear, every plot aimed at your downfall becomes a tool in the hands of Allah, designed to refine your intentions, strengthen your resilience, and illuminate the sincerity of your heart. What others see as suffering or injustice is, in reality, a divine mechanism to elevate you above the ordinary, to protect you from paths that may appear desirable but are not aligned with your divine purpose, and to grant you spiritual wealth that no material success could ever match. In the moments when the world misunderstands you, when enemies speak against you with confidence, and when allies may falter or abandon you, your trials are quietly shaping you into a fortress of faith, a living testament that Allah's chosen servants are never defined by the lies of the world, but by their steadfastness, integrity, and the purity of their hearts. Every tear, every sleepless night, every whispered plot aimed at your reputation becomes part of a divine tapestry that only Allah can see in its entirety, and while others may believe they are hunting you for weakness, they are, in fact, unknowingly participating in the divine process that transforms trials into triumphs, falsehood into revelation, and hardship into a crown of honor for those who remain patient, sincere, and devoted. When you endure years of false accusations, betrayal, and relentless pursuit for something you never did, it is easy to feel abandoned, misunderstood, and forgotten, but the reality is far greater than human perception. Allah's justice operates in dimensions that our limited minds cannot comprehend, and every act of oppression, every whispered lie, and every hidden scheme is recorded, witnessed, and preserved by the One who sees all. The Quran teaches us that no injustice, no matter how concealed, escapes Allah's knowledge, and that the scales of truth are not governed by human timelines or shallow judgments. While those who hunted you may have believed that their power could determine your fate, they were blind to the intricate web of divine decree, where every attempt to harm you was transformed into a stepping stone toward your elevation. Every plot against you sowed the seeds for their own exposure, and every whisper against you became a testament to their own moral decay. Remember the stories of the prophets, peace be upon them, who were slandered, accused, and hunted relentlessly by those who feared the light of truth. Yet Allah's justice always prevailed in ways so perfect and so precise that it left the world in awe, revealing that ultimate vindication belongs solely to Him. Your patience, your steadfast faith, and your refusal to retaliate are not signs of weakness, but proof that you are aligned with a justice far greater than any human hand can deliver, a justice that humbles the arrogant, exposes the corrupt, and restores dignity to the innocent. Even when years feel like a lifetime, when the world seems deaf to your pleas, and when hope feels distant, remember that Allah is orchestrating every detail, every timing, and every consequence with flawless wisdom. What may appear to be delay is, in truth, preparation for the perfect moment when your vindication will not only silence the lies, but illuminate the truth so brightly that those who sought your downfall will themselves bear witness to the power of divine justice. Allah's justice is not hurried, it is not swayed by emotion, and it is never incomplete. It operates in realms beyond human vision. It moves in ways invisible to the eye, and it transforms every act of oppression into an instrument of elevation for the one who trusts Him completely. And so, every moment you feel hunted, every trial you endure, every lie aimed at you, remember that the world's judgment is fleeting, but Allah's justice is eternal, infallible, and always aligned with the truth, turning every hardship into a testament that no one can manipulate, no one can obscure, and no one can outrun the perfect decree of the most just, the most wise. In a world where false accusations, jealousy, and schemes often swirl around the innocent, your silence becomes one of the most powerful forms of strength a believer can possess, because responding hastily, defending yourself in anger, or engaging with those who seek to harm you only gives them the energy and satisfaction they desire, while silence paired with unwavering trust in Allah transforms every attack into a mirror that exposes their intentions and magnifies your own integrity. The Quran reminds us that those who trust in Allah and remain patient will see the outcomes only He can orchestrate. And history is filled with examples of prophets and righteous servants, peace be upon them, who were slandered, mocked, and hunted, yet their silence, their restraint, and their measured patience became the very instruments through which Allah demonstrated His justice, elevated their status, and revealed their truth to the world in ways no argument or confrontation ever could. When you refrain from replying to falsehood, when you do not chase approval or seek validation from those blinded by envy, you are not ignoring the world. You are aligning yourself with a wisdom far beyond human comprehension, one that recognizes that every word, every reaction, and every move can either empower the deceivers or strengthen your divine position. Silence allows your character, your actions, and your unwavering faith to speak louder than any accusation, and it becomes a fortress around your soul that no envy, no manipulation, and no malice can penetrate. It is in this sacred space of restraint that Allah molds the hearts of His chosen servants, teaching them that true power is measured not by the volume of one's voice or the ferocity of one's reaction, but by the depth of one's trust in the one who sees all, knows all, and controls every detail of the unseen. In every moment when the world tries to provoke you, when enemies plot in secrecy, and when whispers seek to diminish your reputation, your silence is a declaration of divine alignment, a shield that preserves your honor, and a weapon that turns opposition into testimony for every false narrative they try to construct. Allah's truth shines brighter, your patience becomes a beacon, and the very energy they expend to hunt you only builds the path for your ultimate vindication and elevation. The chosen ones understand that the loudest victories are often unseen at first, that the most powerful triumphs are quiet, and that a soul anchored in faith, patience, and silence is untouchable, unshakable, and destined to rise in ways that silence alone can prepare. Being hunted, slandered, and accused for something you never did is one of the heaviest trials a believer can face. Yet it is precisely in these moments that Allah reveals the depth, resilience, and sincerity of your faith. Every whisper behind your back, every fabricated story, every attempt to tarnish your name is not merely an act of cruelty from others. It is a divine test designed to separate the fleeting from the steadfast, the superficial from the true servants of Allah, and to show you and the world the strength of a heart anchored in Him alone. The Quran teaches us that those who remain patient and trust in Allah will be guided, uplifted, and ultimately vindicated, and history is replete with examples of prophets and righteous believers, peace be upon them, who faced slander, betrayal, and relentless opposition, yet never wavered in their devotion, understanding that the world's judgment is temporary, but Allah's approval is eternal. When false accusations rain down upon you, it is not a reflection of your weakness, but a mirror showing the weakness of those who attack, while also providing an opportunity for you to grow spiritually, emotionally, and morally beyond what ordinary circumstances could ever achieve. Each accusation is a test of your patience, your integrity, your humility, and your reliance solely on Allah. It teaches you to resist the temptation to retaliate in anger, to avoid allowing resentment to take root in your heart, and to maintain the purity of your intentions, even when the entire world misjudges you. In this trial, your faith becomes a living shield, protecting your soul from bitterness, guiding your actions toward righteousness, and transforming every attack into a stepping stone toward elevation, honor, and closeness to Allah. The challenge of being falsely accused forces you to seek strength in prayer, find refuge in the Quran, and turn to the remembrance of Allah as your ultimate source of justice, knowing that human opinion is fleeting, but divine decree is flawless. By enduring these accusations without losing your composure, without allowing anger or despair to dominate your heart, you demonstrate the true meaning of submission to Allah's will, and you become a testament to those around you that faith is not only about worship or ritual, but about how you conduct yourself in the face of injustice, betrayal, and human cruelty. What others meant for harm, Allah transforms into a source of purification, refinement, and elevation, turning every false claim into a divine lesson that strengthens your soul, sharpens your character, and deepens your trust in His perfect wisdom. When the storms of accusation pass and the truth emerges, your endurance, patience, and unwavering faith will not only vindicate you but serve as a powerful example for anyone who faces similar trials, showing them that no slander, no injustice, and no human scheme can overcome the one who truly relies on Allah, and that in every moment of false accusation lies the hidden blessing of spiritual growth, divine protection, and the ultimate triumph of truth over falsehood. When people spend years plotting against you, hunting you for something you never did, and seeking to tarnish your name or disrupt your life, it is crucial to understand that their actions reveal far more about them than they ever could about you. Every scheme, every whisper, Every calculated attempt to harm you exposes the darkness in their hearts, the envy in their souls, and the moral corruption that blinds them to the truth and blinds them to the light of Allah that shines upon you. While they may have believed that their obsession, their lies, and their manipulations were instruments of power, in reality, Allah used their very actions to demonstrate their own flaws, their own weakness, and their inability to escape the consequences of their heart's corruption. For the Quran teaches us that Allah is fully aware of every intention, every hidden thought, and every concealed action, and nothing escapes His perfect knowledge. As they spent countless hours devising strategies to bring you down, plotting in secrecy, and aligning themselves with deception, they unknowingly displayed their own fear, their own insecurity, and their lack of divine insight. And through this, Allah allowed you to witness the true nature of human hearts without compromising your own integrity, without lowering yourself to their level, and without allowing their darkness to contaminate your light. Every accusation they leveled, every lie they spread, and every effort they made to undermine your reputation served as a mirror reflecting the envy, the malice, and the spiritual blindness that enveloped them, and it became clear that their energy was consumed not by concern for truth or justice, but by obsession with your perceived flaws and by the need to elevate themselves at your expense. Yet in the midst of their pursuit, you remained steadfast, patient, and anchored in your faith, and in doing so, you illuminated a divine truth, that the chosen ones are never truly defined by the attacks against them, but by their resilience, their sincerity, and their unwavering reliance on Allah. While they sought to create chaos in your life, Allah transformed their actions into instruments of revelation, showing you the character of those around you and allowing you to navigate life with clarity, discernment, and an unshakable trust in divine justice. Their obsession became a testament to their own spiritual weakness, while your patience, your humility, and your refusal to retaliate became a reflection of your strength and alignment with Allah's plan. Even in the moments when it seemed as though their schemes might succeed, Allah's wisdom orchestrated every detail, ensuring that their darkness would never overshadow your light, that their plots would ultimately expose themselves, and that their obsession with you would serve as proof to yourself and to the world that your integrity, faith, and divine protection cannot be undone by human envy or malice. In essence, those who hunted you, plotted against you, and sought to harm you became unwitting teachers of a profound spiritual lesson. They revealed to you the power of patience over anger, of faith over fear, of light over darkness, and of divine justice over human schemes. And in witnessing their descent into spiritual blindness, you were elevated into a state of clarity, insight, and unwavering alignment with Allah's will. Theirs is a story of obsession and moral decay. Yours is a story of resilience, divine protection, and victory. And in this contrast, the world learns that true power is not in plotting, accusing, or hunting, but in remaining anchored in faith, maintaining one's integrity, and allowing Allah's wisdom to orchestrate every outcome with precision, ensuring that the darkness of human hearts only serves to illuminate the light of the chosen ones, the servants who remain steadfast, patient, and righteous, even when the world seeks to condemn them unjustly. In the midst of being hunted, slandered, and falsely accused for something you never did, it can feel as if the world has abandoned you, as if injustice reigns supreme, and as if the truth will never be revealed. Yet the reality is that divine timing is perfect, and Allah, in His infinite wisdom, orchestrates every detail with precision beyond human comprehension. The Quran repeatedly reminds us that Allah is the best of planners, and that no injustice, no lie, and no hidden scheme escapes His knowledge, for He alone knows what lies in the hearts of men, the secret plots that unfold in the shadows, and the unseen consequences of every action. And in this knowledge, He carefully arranges the timing of revelation, vindication, and justice, so that it manifests at the exact moment it will produce the greatest impact, the clearest recognition of truth, and the most profound awakening for all involved. The years of waiting, the endless moments of feeling misunderstood, the sleepless nights of worry, and the heavy burden of being hunted are not signs of abandonment, but rather the divine preparation that ensures your vindication will be unmistakable, undeniable, and undeniable not only to your oppressors, but to yourself, your community, and the world at large, so that when the truth finally surfaces, the contrast between falsehood and reality is stark, undeniable, and awe-inspiring, leaving no room for doubt about Allah's justice, wisdom, or meticulous planning. History is replete with examples of prophets and righteous servants, peace be upon them, who were accused, hunted, and slandered. Yet their ultimate triumphs occurred not according to human timing, but according to divine orchestration, and these stories remind us that when patience is paired with trust in Allah, the unseen forces of destiny move with perfect precision, ensuring that every falsehood collapses, every secret plot is exposed, and every injustice is addressed in a manner so flawless that it leaves no question about the supremacy of divine justice. While those who hunted you may have believed they were controlling your fate, every scheme, every lie, and every whispered accusation was, in reality, a thread in a tapestry woven by Allah Himself, each action carefully measured to unfold at the right time, to reveal their own weaknesses, and to highlight your resilience, patience, and unwavering faith, transforming their obsession into evidence of their own moral decay and your eventual elevation. The essence of this divine timing is that nothing is wasted, nothing is overlooked, and every attempt to harm you only serves to set the stage for a moment of revelation that is perfectly orchestrated to protect your honor, restore your reputation, and demonstrate the truth to all who have eyes to see and hearts to understand. As the years pass, and the weight of slander and pursuit may feel unbearable, trust that Allah's plan is far beyond human imagination, and that the moment of exposure will not be accidental or coincidental, but a deliberate, purposeful manifestation of divine wisdom, a moment where all lies are shattered, all plots are revealed, and every false accuser is confronted not by your hand, but by the undeniable truth orchestrated by Allah, leaving the world in awe of His justice and leaving your soul strengthened, your patience validated, and your faith illuminated. Divine timing ensures that your vindication does not come too early when hearts are unprepared to recognize it, nor too late when doubt might weaken your resolve, but at precisely the moment when the clarity of truth is absolute. The contrast between falsehood and reality is unmistakable, and the glory of Allah's justice shines most brilliantly, so that the one who waited, endured, and remained steadfast emerges not only victorious but exalted, their story a testament to the fact that no matter how long the night of injustice lasts, the dawn of truth is guaranteed, perfectly timed, and divinely orchestrated, revealing to all that the chosen servants of Allah are never forsaken that patience is the ultimate weapon against human scheming, and that the exposure of truth in Allah's timing surpasses every human expectation, every plot and every plan, leaving the world with no doubt that divine wisdom is infinitely superior, and that those who rely solely on Allah are never defeated, no matter how fierce the hunt, how relentless the accusations, or how long the trial may last. In this truth lies the ultimate lesson. Your patience, your silence, and your steadfastness are never in vain, for Allah's timing is flawless, His justice is absolute, and every hidden scheme will collapse precisely when it is meant to, leaving your integrity intact, your soul elevated, and the truth shining brightly for all to witness, a living proof that divine orchestration surpasses every human effort, every plan of the unjust, and every moment of despair, transforming years of persecution into a moment of undeniable, awe-inspiring vindication. When Allah grants you victory after years of being hunted, slandered, and falsely accused for something you never did, understand that this triumph is never solely for you. It is a sign, a beacon, and a lesson for everyone who witnesses it, a living testimony of divine justice, patience, and the power of unwavering faith, for the Quran reminds us that the deeds of the righteous are never concealed, and that Allah uses the trials and triumphs of His chosen servants as guidance for those who seek the truth, strength for those who struggle in silence, and reassurance for hearts weighed down by injustice. Your victory, earned through patience, trust in Allah, and unwavering integrity, becomes a mirror reflecting not only the collapse of falsehood, but also the illumination of truth, exposing the schemes of those who sought to harm you, and showcasing the superiority of divine wisdom over human plotting. And in this, every soul who witnesses your vindication is reminded that no lie, no envy, and no prolonged injustice can overcome the one protected and guided by Allah. While you endured the weight of accusations, the anxiety of being hunted, and the pressure of human judgment, your steadfastness was not only preserving your own soul, but also shaping a narrative for others. A narrative that teaches the value of patience over anger, faith over despair, and reliance on divine decree over the fleeting judgments of the world. Those who may have faltered in their own struggles, who have faced betrayal, envy, or false accusations, will look upon your journey and recognize that true victory is not measured by the absence of hardship, but by the resilience of the heart, the purity of intentions, and the unwavering trust in Allah's timing and wisdom. Your victory becomes a living lesson in the power of divine protection, demonstrating that every trial, every false claim, and every moment of suffering can be transformed into a catalyst for elevation, not only for yourself, but for all who witness it, and that the chosen ones are never defined by the attacks against them, but by their response, their faith, and their endurance, which becomes a template of spiritual strength for others to emulate. This triumph teaches the world that patience is not passive, but a dynamic form of power, that silence in the face of slander is not weakness, but a divine strategy, and that integrity, when anchored in faith, produces results that no deceit, no plotting, and no human manipulation can ever alter. The impact of your victory is not limited to personal vindication, it ripples outward, inspiring others to trust in Allah's plan, to remain steadfast when misjudged, and to recognize that the ultimate arbiter of truth is not human perception, but the one who sees all hearts, judges all actions, and orchestrates every outcome with infinite wisdom. Every person who observes your rise after years of persecution is reminded that Allah's justice is absolute, His protection unwavering, and His plan flawless. And through this, your story becomes a powerful symbol, a living proof that the chosen ones are never forsaken, that patience in trials cultivates unparalleled strength, and that victory granted by Allah carries with it the responsibility of guiding, inspiring, and uplifting others, showing them that no scheme, no falsehood, and no prolonged injustice can overpower a heart anchored in faith. Your life becomes a canvas where divine justice is painted vividly, where every attack, every lie, and every hardship is transformed into evidence of Allah's mercy, wisdom, and omnipotence. And in this masterpiece, those who once doubted, those who once envied, and those who once sought your downfall are not only confronted with the truth, but also become witnesses to the power of divine orchestration, realizing that the hand of Allah moves unseen, that every trial has a purpose, and that the light of the chosen ones cannot be extinguished by human schemes. This victory is more than personal triumph. It is a declaration, a lesson, and a living reminder for all who encounter it that faith is stronger than fear, patience more powerful than retaliation, and divine justice superior to every human plan. And as the world observes, your endurance becomes a beacon, your vindication a guide, and your victory a profound sign that Allah's protection, His wisdom, and His timing are flawless, and that the journey of the chosen one, though tested by lies and hunted by falsehood, always culminates in a triumph that elevates not only the individual, but the entire community of believers, leaving an indelible mark that inspires generations to trust in Allah, remain steadfast in trials, and understand that every hardship endured for His sake is never wasted, every challenge faced with faith is never forgotten, and every victory achieved under His decree is a sign for others that truth, patience, and divine justice always prevail. Chosen ones, remember this: the world may have hunted you, accused you, and tried to break you for years, but every step of your journey has been divinely orchestrated. Your patience, your faith, and your silence were never weakness. They were weapons, shields forged by Allah Himself. Those who plotted against you revealed their own darkness, while you were being elevated, purified, and prepared for a victory only the divine could orchestrate. Today, your triumph is not just your story, it is a sign, a beacon, and a message for everyone who feels oppressed, misunderstood, or falsely accused. The chosen are never defeated, the faithful are never abandoned, and divine justice is always flawless. Stand tall, keep your heart anchored in Allah, and let your life be the proof that no human scheme can overcome the one He protects. Your victory shines for the world to see. Your legacy is being written, and your story is a warning to those who dared to oppose you. The chosen cannot be shaken, silenced, or stopped. Remember this, live by it, and let it ignite the fire of faith within you, because the world may try, but Allah's chosen ones always rise.